All right, here we are. It's that time of week. April, hello. Mike, Fish Tank Barn. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Jim, Tankless, Dave, Legion, Regina, Angie's. Hello, hello. As always, we'll give it a couple minutes. Chime in on sound. Hopefully, it still sounds all right. Using different microphones because the other mic is broken. So things might sound a little different. Dave says, I've been on Dan's Fish since the member stream ended. I'm looking to stock a 15-gallon Fluval Flex, and I can't decide which way to go. First world problems, I know. I will say, and for anyone who doesn't know, if you use code Steenfott Aquatics, all lowercase, at dansfish.com, you will get 5% off your entire order, excluding shipping. So there you go. Throwing that plug out there. No more having to search for links. Just put it in the discount code. That easy. And instead of 10% off for new customers, it is 5% off everybody. So everybody wins now. Dan's Fish has a bunch of spotted Congos in stock too. Yes. And if I could make a suggestion, I don't know, Dave, if you're like a shrimp guy, but he has some pretty awesome shrimp in stock right now. Any of the like Sulawesi, the Ninja Shrimp, the Red Orchard, all of them, the Red Line, they're all just amazing. They look way better in person than they do in the pictures. So just keep that in mind. I mean, that's where I would go. Fill that bad boy up with some awesome looking shrimp. Joel, member for 18 months. Thank you so much. Says lovely. Oh, lovely. All right. UPS are living the dream member for 37 months. Says good evening, Bob, mods, dream teams, and lurkers. Yes. What else? What else would I put? 15-gallon. I mean, licorice gourami would be pretty sweet. A lot of cool killifish would do well there. I wish I'm in Maine and no shrimp allowed. Really? I knew that, but I forgot about it, which is insane. That's crazy to me. Then I'd have to do maybe some pseudomcgills, some smaller rainbows. Maybe a pair of apistos would be nice. No shrimp, just lobster. Lobster. Jessica Bryant, member for 10 months, says, hit the like button. Yes, I always forget to say that, but hit the like button. Every like actually helps, so I would appreciate it. Like, dislike, doesn't matter. Just choose one. Rosy loaches would be pretty dang sweet. Rosy loaches are very active little loaches, so really fun to watch. Maybe some pencilfish would be pretty cool. Pencilfish don't need a ton of room, which is nice. Man, I can't believe you can't have shrimp there. That's so bizarre. Sorry, Bob, but my name is Tankless Clive, not Dave. All right, well, I was talking to Dave, so Tankless Clive. Maybe some pea puffers. Pea puffers could be fun. Get like 6 of them in there. I was watching to see if Dan had listed the Corridors punctatus on the website, but it's not yet. They were listed. Did they get taken down? They did. So they either sold out or got taken down. Not sure which. They were really good looking, the best looking punctatus I've ever seen. So it wouldn't surprise me if they sold out already. Fish Tank Barn with the $5 super chat says lurking and working in the fish room. That's been me ever since I got back from Wyoming. Just building racks, air loop systems, the whole nine. And it's going to be up and running here really quick. Desert Fish, welcome back to the Dream Team. I appreciate you re-signing up. Thank you so much. Steve says, I have an algae problem. The lights are only on 6 hours a day. What can I do to fix this? It depends, Steve, what kind of algae you have. And it just you might not have enough lighting. So it's always this balancing act when it comes to algae. So if you have too many nutrients and not enough lighting, you'll get algae. If you have not enough nutrients and too much light, you'll get algae. So having less light can actually cause algae as well, because it's just putting things out of balance. But really, you have to figure out what kind of algae it is, and then you can kind of start making some changes. Just seen some really awesome long-eared sunfish for $10 each at Zimmerman's Fish. I wish these native fish were more popular. Long-eared sunfish. I've never heard of that, but I'm going to Google it. Oh. I think we actually have these here. I'm pretty sure I've seen these in some of the lakes here. Maybe not. It's like a cichlid. Well, it's like discus colored. Here, I'll show you. See, it kind of looks like a discus coloration. Oh, what did I do? What happened? Anyways, right? You see it? Discus colors there, kind of. What do I think of L shape? Are you talking about L or I? L or I shaped tanks? We're talking about L shaped tanks. I think they're interesting. I don't know if I do one. It has to be very specific. Like a tank can only go in this corner. I don't think I would. I think I would only get an L-shaped tank if it was like my only resort. Like, it's the only thing that's going to fit there is an L shape. I bought those from Zimmerman. They are great. I've never heard of this Zimmerman character. Zimmerman's Fish. Let me look that up. Business background. Started in 2003. I don't think so. Tegu's trying to bust out of her tank. Gonna happen. Blue spotted sunfish. Spike tail platy. Interesting. Only has 3 types of fish in stock. What do you think of the Oase duckweed filter? I don't even know what that is. Oase duck. Is it like just a skimmer? I don't know which one it is. I'm just on their website. I don't know which one it would be. I've never heard of it. We have them here in Lakes of Michigan. I've caught those at the pond near my house. You have a tegu lizard? Yes. Those are, it's a pretty fish. Long-eared sunfish. A lot of the sunfish, though, have, like, really good color. My pygmy sunfish don't have any color, but other sunfish tend to have a lot of color. I think he was asking about the skimmer. I honestly, like, I know very little about Oase in general. Yeah. I don't have much experience with that brand. I see an Oase swim skim pond skimmer. Hmm. Yeah, I'd need like a model number. But even then, I would never used it, so I can't really speak of it. I'm kind of curious how it works though. If their hang-on back filter is $100, that seems a bit much. Um, Crystal Skim 600 skimmer. Bob, when are you getting some SCPs, some spotted Congo puffers? Probably not anytime soon. I've already got my group of red-eye, red-tail puffers, and that's enough puffers for me right now. I got like 5 or 6 of them. Steenfott Aquatics, Aquarium or Marine Land tanks more reliable, or somebody else, or it doesn't even matter? I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if Aquarium and Marine Land tanks were made by the same company. I've not had any real issues with Aquarium. I've only had one Marine Land tank in my life. The one Aquarium tank I've had that leaked was my own fault. So besides that, I've never had an Aquarium tank leak. Speaking about Oase, are the canisters from Oase good? Never used them. They're too expensive. Too expensive for me. They are out of my price range. And that goes for most canister filters, not just Oase. I don't think canisters or filters are worth the price. Like the FX6 knockoff on eBay is $100. Like that seems like a good deal to me. But an FX6 for $400, that's too much for me. For anyone running CO2, the Neo diffusers that Corey sells are amazing tiny bubbles. Need a magnifying glass to see them. I have a couple of those kicking around. I once left my rod on the dock with just a little hook sitting in the water. When I came back, a little sunfish was on the hook. That's kind of funny. What can I keep with peacocks and haps besides peacocks, haps, and sinnows? Oh boy, what would you want to keep? Like you could do like Lake Tanganyika and killifish at full size would probably do okay. Oase is too proud of their stuff than they should be. Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't want to say anything negative about it because I never used them, but they're definitely a pricier brand. I feel. And I'm just looking on Amazon, so I don't know how accurate that is, but like this just seems ridiculous to me. Let me show you. Like $100 for a hang-on back filter. Why? Like, so it has the chamber seems really small, right? It's like, oh, it's got 3 cartridges, but they're like 2 inches wide. So that's not very impressive. Oh, it has, okay, so it has a built-in heater, which I don't know. I don't think I like that. I don't think I like that at all. That's too much. Like, what happens if the filter fails? Then you got to replace the filter, and you're out the heater, or the heater fails, then you got to buy a new heater. Like, yeah, I don't like that at all. Built-in heater. Ugh. No thanks. I get how it seems like a good idea, but I don't know. I don't like it. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Does it have UV? No. UV would make more sense than a heater. I can't get over with that. Somebody asked what I think of UV. I think UV is great in situationally. I don't know that I would run UV like permanently, like 24/7. There used to be a really good breeder here by me that would do UV. Now, I don't know. It was a huge unit, but he would just put it. He had like 60 tanks or whatever, and he would just do it for like 30 minutes, like once a week. I don't know why, but he swore by it. I had a canister filter for 6 months. After the first maintenance, I got so mad I just sold it and never go back. I'll probably build a sump someday. Yeah, not a fan on heater. I can't forget Corey's rant from years ago on the Oase canister with the heater. Yeah, it just doesn't seem like a good time. Paying for that fancy design. Is that fancy? Like, it's just, I don't know. It's curved. There's no sharp edges, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. But I like 50, so I'm guessing that's for like a 40-gallon tank. Yeah, aquarium's up to 50 gallons. So $100 for a filter for a 40 breeder. That's just crazy. How much is it? The Aquarium filter is my favorite. How much is that one? To be fair, those have gotten a pretty ridiculous price too. Aquarium hang on back filters. I think it's what the 70. Yeah, the 75. So their giant one is $57, which is insane because it used to be like $30, but still. I had to clean my FX4 canister 3 times this weekend because it clogged up so fast from filtering a turtle goldfish pond. Mat and filter works for me. Put the heater right behind it. Yeah, I'm going to try to do mat and filters. So the next rack I have to build is going to hold 16 20 longs. And I want to do filters in at least half of them. Not all of them, but at least half. Looks like a washing machine. A washing machine? Kenny says, I'm still an AquaClear kind of guy. Those are like my least favorite. But hey, you find what works for you and that's all that matters, right? It doesn't matter what I like. It doesn't matter what you like. As long as it works for you, that's all that matters. The Marineland BioWheel 350 filters are pretty nice. Hang on backs. I don't like the wheels. I actually have one on this 40 breeder right here. I don't even use the wheels. I take them off. The wheels are just a gimmick. Regina Phalange says, I did have an Oase pond filter that died in the first 3 months, and that company sent me a brand new one. No questions asked, so that's cool. That's nice. Bentley spent $330 on the F-Zone for his 40 breeder. Needs sump plumbing for dummies. It's so easy. A lot of people avoid sumps because of the plumbing, but it's really, really easy. Do I have any Barbatus? I do not. I picked some up and they are a joy. I love Barbatus. I actually ordered 12 of them and they were all POA. So I tried. But no, currently I do not have any scleromastics, whatever, Barbatus. But they're definitely on my list. I have AquaClears and I hate that they don't restart after a power outage, but I hate the tidal filters because they start to make noises when the water drops just a bit. Tidal is another one. I've never used the tidal filters either. Tidal filters are like people really like them or they really hate them. I find there's really no in between. Don't they have like a surface skimmer type thing, which I think is like, I don't want that on my hang on back. Yeah. I have a mat filter in a 29-gallon, no other filtration. It's doing amazing. I just want the mat filter on some of them for the flow. Because some Corridoras do need the flow in order to spawn, and also some of the loaches I'm going to be bringing in really want the flow, and so that's why I want the Hamburg Matten filter. Bentley says that F-Zone is pretty sweet, although I do need to service it soon. Paul, what's going on, buddy? I hope you're doing well. My go-to hang-on backs are the Penguin Pros. Strong pump, enough room in the box to hot rod, and they're reasonably priced. Penguin. Let's see what the going rate. The Penguin Pro. Does it still have the stupid bio wheel? Yeah, it still has the bio wheel. Oh, I wish they would just get rid of that. It's so unreliable and gimmicky. Like, I get it. It's like a trickle filter. Blah blah blah, whatever. I love my title better than the Aquaclear just because the pump is in. That's what I like about Aquion, that it's inside. Surprisingly, the Tetra hang-on backs have a lot of room, and their pump is also on the inside. Now I haven't used one in years, but yeah, this is probably, in my opinion, the best value. Let me show you this one. If I get it pulled up here. There we go. So $35 for the 70, which, you know, up to 70 gallons. Of course, you know, it says 45, 70. But there's still a ton of room in these filters. And they're half the price of any other filter that's this size. Like the back is, it's really deep. You can see the pump is inside the tank. Now this is one, to be honest, this one will probably make some rattling noise if you don't clean out the impeller every once in a while, so just keep that in mind. But this is the best deal going on right now by far. Matter of fact, I might even get one. It's cheaper than the next one. It's cheaper than the smaller one. That is the downside. Her209 says the downside with having the pump in the inside is that I can't water change without having to turn off the filter. Wouldn't you have to do that regardless where the pump is? I have two of the Penguins. One is packed with sponges, so the bio wheels are completely unnecessary. I'd be curious. I mean, I would wager like 99% of the fish keepers don't even need the extra beneficial bacteria that you would get on the bio wheel. They're not getting rid of the bio wheel. I know. I bet they will eventually, though. Not anytime soon, by any means, but I bet they will eventually. It's, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. You would have to have an ungodly amount of fish in your fish tank to need any additional filtration. Like, I don't know. None of my tanks need like just massive amounts of bio filtration. Like, there's so many plants. I mean, one sponge filter will carry enough bacteria to take care of a tank. So my title is in the 75 gallon is all sponge. Oh wait, my title in the 75 gallon is all sponge with only my chemical media, and my Fluid 407 has all the media in it. Buy it on stream so we can all get one free with your card. Even if I was to buy it on stream, it only shows the last 4 digits of the card number. Not going to get you very far. I don't know. I think when it comes to biological filtration, I think a lot of people um, worry too much about it. Like once your tank is seasoned, there's no need to even worry about biological filtration. No need. Unless you're dumping in like 300 tanks at once. 300, yeah. Throwing in like 300 African cichlids at once, then you might have a problem. But Lewis says I would be more afraid about oxygenation. Yeah, if you're overstocked, oxygen should be of way more concern than any bio media. No, I keep my aqua clears running even when the water level is low, so long as it doesn't go below the intake inlet. I guess that's true. It depends on how large of water tanks you're doing, obviously. Yeah, Lumpy Dog says if you have substrate and moving water, you're good. That's very true. I mean, it's everywhere. It's on all your hardscape, your rocks, your wood. It's just swarming in your substrate. I just use my hang-on backs for water polishing and use the gravel for biomedia. That's it. Yep. I mean, I just put batting in my hang-on back filters and that's it. Just suck out the poop. Get yourself a bunch of corridoras so they're always stirring up the substrate. And then your filter picks up all that. And your substrate stays clean. So I got rid of the green slime algae 2 weeks ago and now getting a little back. What do you think is the cause? What is it in your puffer tank? When I scrub the sides of my tank during water changes, does that harm the beneficial bacteria, or does it just float around and land somewhere else? I mean, if you have algae, then the beneficial bacteria is definitely on the algae, but you're not going to scrape up enough or get rid of enough or kill off enough to lose your cycle. Alex says, hey, all y'all, Bentley Pasco has a GoFundMe for his $7,000 vet bill. He's currently between gigs, so Shan Toto's hip displacement surgery hit at a bad time. Is there ever a good time? I can relate to the vet bills. I'm liking my undergravel filters so far. Wish I could use them for my axolotls. They're fun. They're fun to play with. When I had tanks in the 70s, I used Whispers then, and they were great. I'm putting 2 new 55 gallons and bought 2 Whisper 70s. I hope they work well. Yeah, the only issue, like I said, I haven't kept one in like 5 years, but when I did, so it used to be a long time ago, $1 per gallon sale, all the filters were half off as well. And so I would load up, and of course it was Tetra was making the tanks back then, so all the Tetra filters were half off. So I used to have a ton of them, and the only issues I ever had was if you didn't clean the impeller, then they start getting rattled. They start to rattle. So every once in a while, I would just hose out the impeller intake, take it out, hose it off. It would just get quiet again. Wait, 70s? How old are Whisper filters? Well, they're certainly not the same filters that were made in the 70s. Same brand, though. Marineland was back in the 70s. Like, my first canister filter was that Marineland, I forget what it was called. But it was like, it had the manufacture date of 1978. My overstocked 115 gallon does fine with undergravel and 1 sponge filter. The Eheim air pump costs $25 and it runs on 4 watts. Can't beat that. I dose my tank for internal parasites and the next day my tank is cloudy. I follow the instructions, did a 25% water change gravel vac. Will it clear up by itself? Well, it probably depends on the medication, but maybe or maybe not. Say, you may have to get some carbon, like however long it says you're supposed to treat it. Like if it's like treat it for 4 days, then after the 4 days, you might have to throw some carbon in there to get rid of it. I don't know. Not knowing what kind of medicine you used, but Flint's Fish Forum, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you as always. Are undergravel filters making a comeback? I don't think they're making a comeback, but I think they are being used a little bit more. Like you see, like the day that you could walk into like a chain store and buy an undergravel filter, then I'll say maybe they're making a comeback. But I'd say they're still probably pretty specialized right now. My tank is cloudy because my pump dropped into the substrate thanks Chinese cheaper brands. Just about everything's made there, so. I had an undergravel filter in my Amazon cart. Now it's unavailable. I'm guessing somebody bought them. Just on the road for work. It's a good to have some downtime to catch a stream. Yeah, it's good to see you, man. I hope you're doing well. They're made by Penplax and Imagitarium. Imagitarium, is that the Petco brand? Maybe they already have them. Under gravel filter. All right, so they're still sold at Petco. Buy two, get 150% off. That doesn't sound like something that's selling well. You get 150% off for buying two. Let's see. Not available in store. So there you go, not in store. I'd be willing to bet it's just that little bit of carbon that's what's getting the job done. Alex, what's up? Says, finally not busy on a Monday evening. Made a live stream. Welcome, welcome. The less premium undergravel filters are good. I just don't know what the advantage would be. Like, what is the undergravel filter giving me that my sponge filter doesn't? And takes up way less space. I get it, it's under the gravel, but still. They turn the substrate into biological filtration. It's already biological though. Like there's already beneficial bacteria in the substrate. Like again, I think people are so hung up on the beneficial bacteria and surface space, and we need more and more and more beneficial bacteria. When the reality is, most of us have plenty of beneficial bacteria in the tank. I mean, you're only going to have as much beneficial bacteria as your fish and food can provide for, right? Have you tried Alocasia Black Magic on aquariums? No, I have not. Mike says, hey there, any experience with Epistogramma bitanniata? That's actually a species, Mike, that I've never kept. They're not difficult to keep, though, by any means. At least I have never come across someone having issues with that fish. They have good biological filtration and rival sumps when used correctly. Leslie says, I feel like undergravel filters are like steel horse shoes. They were the go-to years ago, and they tried so many new things since. We keep going back to steel shoes. I think undergravel filters will make a comeback. I don't know why, but my undergravel filter tanks have the clearest water. Could be many reasons for that, and it could have absolutely nothing to do. I mean, my tank right here has one sponge filter. There's probably at least 100 fish in it, and the water is crystal clear. Now it's loaded. There's probably like 100 different plants in there, but I don't know. I mean, everything's situational. I'm not trying to like dog undergravel filters. I just don't think that they're like the magic filter that everyone needs to go to. Everyone has their likes and dislikes. Been battling scuds in my Neo tanks. Started a 10-gallon scud culture. Lemons to lemonade. There you go. Is there anything really wrong with scuds? Like, I always get happy when I see scuds in my tank. I know my fish are eating good. I have a 65-gallon, 36 by 18 by 24. What Malawi cichlids would work best? I would probably do... What would I do? Let me look here. I will tell you. Let's see. Got to go to my list. List of fish that I've kept and used to keep. Because there's one that I really like. Where are you at? Why don't I see it? Let me see if I can just remember how to spell it. No, what was it? This is really gonna bug me. Oh, never mind. I remember what it is. Cynotilapia is the ones that I like. So if you're asking me, that's what I would do. Any of the Cynotilapia. I'll pull it up here. Where's images? Here we go. Like I really like these because they stay small, and they still have like all the activity, all the behavior of African cichlids, but they're just much smaller. There's a few different species of Cynotilapia. This is the Lion's Cove, which I have kept. But I like them. Always had good luck with them. Easy to breed. And they have just a ton of color. So I would maybe go that route, if it was me. I don't know why I always forget about that fish, but I do. Great Eater says scuds are no bueno in shrimp-only tanks. Figured it's probably based on experience. Yeah, I mean, like I don't do shrimp professionally like they do, obviously, but I've never noticed any issues with scuds. Other than they're eating and competing, they're competing for the same food and things like that. But again, I've never like sold shrimp professionally or bred them professionally. Just haven't had an issue with them. Those look awesome. Are they hard to find? The Cinetilapia, I would say they're probably a bit more rare, but not unattainable. Like, I could probably find some for sale right now. Let's see. And they're not expensive either, which is nice. Let's see here. Yeah, so like, I mean, look at these. These are a different one, but there you go. Cinetilapia zebroids. Orange back kobu. $10. And you know it's a smaller African cichlid when a medium-sized fish is 2 inches. They're probably 4 inches full grown, in my experience. I've never kept the zebroides, but Cinetilapia in general are like a true dwarf mbuna. Unlike Pseudotropheus that people call dwarf, which I don't think Pseudotropheus are dwarf. Maybe Regina says I had scuds destroy a planted shrimp tank after about 4 months. Maybe it's just I haven't had like massive amounts of scuds in my tank. Maybe that's it. Because all my shrimp tanks usually have like rainbows and other fish in them that are going to eat them. So maybe because my scuds have never gotten out of control is why. Did Dan have any super sweet dwarf cories for my dwarf cray tank? Think about 6 or so in a 20 long. Kenny, he has the Corydoras napoensis, which max out at about 2 inches. Corydoras napoensis. Wait, let me make sure he still has some for sale. Or any of the aspidoras. I mean, honestly, that's what you should be looking at. So you can go with the napoensis, max out at 2 inches. But if you really want a smaller cory, then you got to go with aspidoras. Where'd they go? Like right here. Aspidoras are the most active Corydoras, hands down. Super easy to spawn too. And they're generally smaller. A smaller fish. I don't think there's a single Aspidorus that gets over 2 inches, and they're long, skinny, instead of like short and rotund, if you will. I have a bajillion of these in a 20 long. Like literally, if I'm not exaggerating, I think I got around a dozen of these from Dan's Fish last year. And I'd be putting the over under at 100 as far as what's in there now. And that's without me removing eggs, without me even trying. That's just regular feeding and water changes and them spawning on their own. And I think those are the only Aspidoras he has right now. But there are other species if you don't like the way those ones look. Man, I could look at cories and loaches. Like, I could look at cories and loaches all day long. And a matter of fact, I do. If I'm sitting at a computer, I'm either looking at loaches or Corydoras. How's your leopard gecko? I've never in my life owned a leopard gecko. How many would I need to avoid too much aggression? I mean, I would start with like a dozen. Do you think Do you think that a mature full-grown mono shrimp would survive in a heavily planted 120 with large angelfish? I will say, I have seen angelfish swallow some pretty large mono shrimp. If you bought like 20, I think you'd be doing okay. You might lose one or two here and there. Also, if you keep your angels well fed, I don't think they would go after them. Because a full-grown mono shrimp is like 3 inches. They're huge. So, oh, Zen Ginger finally showed up. Finally came to a stream, huh? About time. I think I'm thinking about the wrong YouTuber. Yeah. The only gecko I have is leaf-tailed geckos. I used to breed crested geckos. As a kid, I loved leopard geckos, but I just never got them. Mainly because I don't like their habitat. I'm more of a crested gecko, right? Tropical habitat. Those aspidoras do look nice, though. If you want an active fish, they are by far the most active. Corydonoridinae. By far, I've got 4 species of aspidoras. Well, 3 now because one of them got reclassified, so technically only 3, but I still say 4. And they're always scooting around, always spawning. Just a really fun fish. And for all the new people, if you didn't see the pinned comment, if you are going to shop at Dan's Fish, use Steenfott Aquatics in the discount code, get 5% off. Every little helps. Do you have any turtles right now? I do not have any turtles. I think the only thing that would get me to pull a trigger on turtles are diamondback terrapins, which I haven't seen a diamondback terrapin for sale in years. What do I think about neon tetras, pygmy cory, and a pair of rams? I wouldn't do a pair of rams. I would do a pair of apistos. Rams like to be in groups. A lot of people don't know that, but rams do prefer to be in groups. Whereas if you did a pair of apistos, they're just fine as a pair. But rams, they really like to be in groups of like 6 or more. Maybe those are the geckos. I haven't bred crested geckos since before. That was all before my YouTube days. I think the only geckos I've had since I've been on YouTube are leaf-tailed geckos. 5% off, $200 is $10. I'll take it. Yep. Alocasias can be used as immersed plants. Pond Store in Austin sells them. Interesting. Fish Family says, so grateful for the stream and the Fish Fam community. I agree. I assume, oh, you're talking to someone else. Okay. Actually, I'll lie. I would take a Mata turtle again. So, like, if someone was rehoming Mata, I would take it. Other than that, it would be diamondback terrapin. I saw someone locally to me bred some diamondback terrapins, and I really want one, but they're selling. Yeah, they're expensive. They've shot up in price. Really, the unique time I had rams in a group, they started wrestling each other. So I guess it would say like group, like what's the group size? Because I've had like 20 without issues before. Not a single issue with keeping like over 20 in a tank. Jay Oliver's Guppies and Aquatics. Hey, what's going on, John? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Says thank you for your dedication to the hobby. You're welcome. It's a fun Paul says, my corridor similis have been getting busy. Started with 6, now there's at least 20 in the tank. Awesome. I'm finally going to be ready to start breeding here within 2 weeks. So, we'll see. We'll see. I'm undecided if I want to paint my stand or not. Like, do I just leave it like wood? Do I just leave it the 2x4s as wood color, I guess, brown? Or do I paint them black? Like, I should probably paint them black, but I don't know. It's the smart thing to do, but I really like the look of them unpainted. I don't know why. How do you avoid getting bored with the hobby? It's definitely has its ups and downs, right? The one thing about this hobby is that there's so many, like the biodiversity is insane. So for me, it's just about switching it up. Every couple years, I kind of go through this phase where I switch it up, do something different, do something new, or go back and do something that I did years and years ago. And that's how I keep it from getting stale. I mean, I did rainbows for like 5 years. Now I'm all about bottom dwellers. You know, gobies, loaches, cories, plecos. Plecos not so much. I had my pleco addiction about 3 years ago, and I still like them, but nothing like before. I was thinking McMasteri, but I don't know how fragile they are. They're not. They're not. Most of these Epistos are going to be captive bred now, and just pretty dang hardy. Paint them white. I definitely can't do white. I mean, that sounds like fun to use the dry wet erase, but I can't do white because they would never stay white. Stain it with black stain so you can still see the wood grain. Now that's an interesting idea. Fish Room ABQ, hey, how's it going? Good to see you. Hope the store's doing well. Katie says, Mata are cool. I believe they don't need to bask either. They will bask, but nothing like your normal turtle that will sit in the sun all day. But they will definitely, like, float under a heat lamp. But it's not nearly as important. So, like, UVA, UVB, not nearly as important. They definitely spend, like, 99% of their time underwater, and they won't come out of the water to bask, but they will float. Have I ever kept sumo loaches? I have not. I have a lot of loaches on my list, and I'm actually very close to pulling the trigger on some loaches. I've got like 3 different orders, and I can't afford any of them. But I want to make at least one order, and I can't decide. And so that's kind of where I'm sitting on. One order is loaches. The other is some live bearers, and another one is some snakes. Oddly enough, some snakes. I can't decide which way I want to go, so I haven't ordered any of them at all. But it's going to be one of those days where I just wake up and have like some random, just spur of the moment thing where I just screw it and just buy one of the orders. Always want to do a tank, but then when I'm setting it up, I want something else. I set up an African cichlid tank, but now I want a puffer. That's why you just need lots of tanks. Leo says, I want diamondback turtles. They're just so expensive. How are the caiman lizard and the tegu doing? They are doing great. The tegu actually escaped. So I built a new lid for it today, which is definitely escape proof. But the caiman lizard really surprises me by how much time it spends. If it's not basking, it's in the water. It much prefers water over land. Can I keep river catfish in my tank at home? Yes or yes? I'm going to say no. I I want to see Corey take his 800 gallon and turn it into a giant nano community. I mean, that's what I would do. You could still have the gigantic puffer in there too. And you could do like 100 chili rasboras and like 100 pygmy cories and 100 pencilfish and 100 pygmy hatchet fish. Discus with Amazon puffers. You could do it. You could do it. As long as you're keeping, you know, I would say closer to 70s. I went from having 0 live bearers to having 3 tanks of goodyids. Yeah, man, this last trip to Wyoming really gave me an appreciation for live bearers. And I really, really want some. But I also really want some loaches, and I also really want some snakes, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be a game time decision, that's for sure. Just pulled up Dan's website, and that mountain grunter looks pretty sweet. Never seen or heard of them before. Yeah, they're from Australia. They're very, very, very rare. And they're very cool. Like, I spent a lot of time watching them. And I believe the ones he has are already colored up. So if you're scrolling through the pictures, you see like the smaller ones. These are larger. If these are the ones that are being sold, the ones I saw were the black with the yellow spots on them. I didn't see another tank of them, so I'm assuming those are the ones that are for sale. So they're already a good size and colored up too. Dan says burn them and then clear coat polyurethane. So I've thought about that too. I do love the wood burn. Like, I know painting in black is the smart thing for YouTube, for filming, but I just, ugh. I really want to wood burn them. That's what I did with my last stand. I burned it. I know an inch per gallon is BS mostly, but can you imagine 800 neons? Well, he threw like 300 neons in there, and it actually didn't look that cool to me. I didn't think it was that cool. When can I start feeding Cory cat fry after they hatch? Most of them are going to lose their egg sac within the first 48 to 72 hours. So you really just need to watch them, and as soon as they lose their egg sac, you should start feeding them before they lose it. But technically, they're still going to be feeding off their egg sac. But I would say after 48 hours, I'd probably start dropping in live foods. Would you consider doing a Rate My Tank series where people submit videos of their tank setups for you to rate? I don't really like those kind of videos, to be honest. And I don't want to position. I don't want to put myself in a position where somebody sends me a tank that I think is just the most hideous, god-awful thing I've ever seen. And then I have to go on camera and be like, oh, this is really cool. Because obviously I don't want to hurt someone's feelings. And I don't want to lie. So I don't want to put myself in that position. Because, like, if somebody put their heart and soul into making a tank and then they send it to me and I'm like, this is the ugliest thing I've ever seen. Like, I don't want to be that guy. So I don't know that I would ever do it, and I don't enjoy watching those kind of videos either when I see other people doing it. I was just watching like some stupid car video where the guy was doing it, and I was just like, I don't know. Like, I build my tanks for me, and if you like them, cool. If you don't, who cares? So, I don't know, whatever. You have a Cayman lizard. What will you do when it gets huge? Do you have the space? It's already huge. It's over 3 feet. It's gigantic. Didn't the neons get eaten by the Jurupari? Is that what he said, or is that what happened? I don't know. My guess is they're neon tetras, so they just died over time. Like, were they actually getting eaten by a Jurupari? Maybe getting picked off here or there. But I mean, neon tetras and cardinal tetras, they just die. That's what they do. So my guess would be they just died over time, but I don't know. I think burning is pretty sweet if you have the equipment. I mean, yeah, I've done it many times. I did it at my in my last fish room too. Bob, how are you building the racks out of cedar? The wood is naturally. How about building the racks out of cedar? The wood is naturally rot resistant and grows in your area like weeds. Cedar is still insanely expensive. An 8-foot cedar 2x4 is about $9. So it's going to triple my cost for very little benefit. Very little benefit. I get that it's rot resistant, but a regular 2x4, I've never had any wood in my fish room rot ever. Like even all the times I've overflowed a tank, it still just dries up. It doesn't rot. Do you have a paludarium for the lizard? I do. I agree. I like those people who like the colorful gravel. If they like it, they should do it then. Yeah, like if somebody sent me like the rainbow gravel and fake plants, like I can't just be like, hey, this is really cool. I'm gonna be like, this looks like a unicorn puked in your aquarium. Like, I don't know, not for me. But if you like it, that's all that matters. Like, so it doesn't matter if I like it or not. Are you going to build a new pool pond for the red tail? I don't have a red tail. People on Facebook fish groups are so judgmental. Why do you have fake plants? Sad plastic forest on other posts, and I'm telling these dudes, do you not see the $5 silver on the left side? Yeah, I always feel bad when I see that. Like people share their tanks, and then they just get gutted. Like people just start attacking them. Oh, I've had to ban people out of my Facebook group for that. Have I ever kept goiter river rainbow fish? Yes, and I've spawned them. Such a beautiful rainbow. I agree. The store is doing great. I'm still getting new people in the hobby during this hot summer. That is awesome. Yes, goiter rainbow fish are one of my favorites. Yeah, they stay small. They have lots of color. UPS, you're living the dream with a $1 super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, as always. A discus tank runs to 82, so do you think that would be too hot for the Amazon? I don't think they mess with the discus, but it's hard to say. I've never kept Amazon puffers at over 82. And a lot of the issues you run into when you start heating up tanks or putting fish in hot tanks is it usually makes them angry. Usually makes them a little more aggro. And I don't know if that would happen with a puffer. Just because I've never done it. I just paint my sand black. It hides any ugly wood because I get the cheapest wood. In addition, it hides all my mistakes too. Like, I'm not a master woodsmith, if you will. So yeah, every once in a while, I might have to add a little shim in here or there or fix a little gap. And if you paint it black, it hides most of that stuff. So I don't know. I'm sure I'll just break down and paint it black, but let's see. Shamu Aquarium says these Bosemani rainbows grow annoyingly slow. Yep. That's true. Let's see. I already got that one. Legion Aquatics with the $1.09 Canadian super chat. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. The 9 cents makes all the difference, of course. Yes, I have silver dollars. Live plants are not possible. I still have my silver dollars. They're awesome fish. So cool when I feed them romaine lettuce. I got a dozen neons from Petco. That 10 of them lived over 3 years. It's definitely I think it's definitely a sourcing issue. When it comes to like neons, cardinals, and rummy nose. there's definitely like, it's hard to find good suppliers of them, but they can be found. Like Dan's are bulletproof. I used to have a supplier that was really bulletproof with them, but they're not anymore. So I don't know if they changed where they're getting them. But, you know, it's definitely one of those fish that you can have good luck with or really bad luck with. Apologize for sending my message. Hey, just keep sending them. You can like ask a question 10 times and I won't even care because it's just more engagement, and that's all YouTube cares about in live streams is engagement. That's what they want. Hey. Whew. Thought I broke my Leatherman there. Needs a little oil. Cedar 2x4? Bluefish says I forgot to hit the like button, and then I remembered. Definitely got to hit the like. Also, I hope audio is okay. I probably should have said this at the start, but you see I'm not using my normal microphone that I normally use because this little piece of equipment that controls the microphone broke. Wouldn't you know it? Like I said earlier, I have the absolute worst luck with electronics. Just doesn't even turn on. Doesn't even turn on. Dennis, what's going on, my friend? $3 super chat. Thank you so much, Dennis. I appreciate it. How have I been? I have been fan-freaking-tastic. I named my Jeep Bob. All right. Well, I caught a bat and I named it Bob. I don't know. Bob the Bat. Is there a really safe brand type of paint to use inside an aquarium, or is it all a bunch of bunk? I know that as long as most paint is actually okay. Obviously, if you want to let it cure all the way, but generally, most paint's going to do okay. Fisher Room says, I definitely pay more for my neon tetras, but the supplier that I go through calls me at the 2-week mark to see how many have passed. I have less than 1% death rate on neon tetras. See, now that's a cool supplier. I wish I knew who it was so I could try to steal him. That's a good person right there. That's goodness. That's what happens when you don't member stream for 2+ weeks. It wasn't 2+ weeks. It was 2 weeks exactly. I have 2 glow tetras in my hospice tank. They are almost 5 years old. I know their days are numbered, but they have been real troopers. I'll miss them. Yeah, Regina and Flanders, I totally understand. I get so incredibly attached to my old fish. It's true. It's true. I finally lost my bala shark that I got like 8 years ago. Finally lost him, which is too soon. He should live at least twice that long. It was a sad, sad day. Seems like the most common little fish in the hobby are the ones that have the most issues with. You can't keep any tiger barbs alive, but the notoriously sensitive rose lines thrive. See, I've never heard that rose lines are sensitive. Matter of fact, I've found rose lines to be anything but sensitive. Like, my rose lines have been super hardy. I've put my rose lines through the grinder and they just survive. Terrible luck with neons. LFS are chained. If they don't die, they are swimming with tumors in their mouths. Yeah, I would definitely stay away from like Florida farm bred neons or rummy nose. Gotta clear out some tabs. Too many tabs open. Roselines are tough fish. Yeah. In my experience, most barbs are pretty dang hardy. Do I have a favorite Nanochromis species? I mean, I gotta go with Splendens. I really like the Transvestatus or Vistitis, whatever it is. I really like those. But I don't think you can beat the color of a Splendens. I have Nanochromis puralis now, and I've kept Consortis, like real Consortis, not the imposters. And those are pretty nice, but I mean the Splendens are just far and away the best ones. Also, does Dan still have some? Yeah, somebody needs to jump on these. Somebody jump on these. Use my discount code, get your 5% off. This is probably the coolest fish you will ever own for $10. That is crazy cheap for Nanochromis. There's only 7. Beautiful, beautiful little dwarf cichlid. Gets about 2 inches. They're long and slender, like cylinder body shape. And just a ton of personality. I don't think you're going to find a better dwarf cichlid for 10 bucks. That's my opinion. But they're on sale, so somebody should scoop them up. It's 7, so it's perfect for a box. Like 7 fits in a box. It's kismet. Someone should scoop those up. I would buy them if I didn't already have them. Has anyone that you known tried full-grown Amano shrimp with large angels? I'm sure. I've seen Aquarium Co-op used to have a display tank, full-grown angels and Amanos. It's not something that I look for though. Like I'm not a big angel fish person, and honestly, I've never been an angelfish person, so it's not really something I pay attention to. Angels will definitely eat smaller Amanos, but a full-grown Amano is pretty big, and most likely they're going to leave them alone. But I would expect to maybe lose 1 or 2. Like, you might have to buy like 5 a year to keep your numbers up. Regina says, I keep extra large Amanos with adult angels, no problems. Yeah, I can't imagine. I don't think people realize, like, full-grown Amanos are freaking huge. Really big. How many feeder goldfish in a 125? None. I would never put feeder goldfish in anything. So I'll buy several. Wait, what? What are you talking about? Danios need to be talked about more. I agree. Lots of cool species of Danios out there. I mean, a glow light Danio, in my opinion, is one of the best looking fish that you can buy. And I'll fight anyone who says otherwise. Let's see. Matter of fact, I even typed in glow fight Danio. Glow light Danio. Tell me that like 100 of these schooling around in a tank would not be awesome. Like, look at this fish. This is just a nice looking fish. Can I buy several of those dwarf cichlids? Yeah, if you had a large enough tank, yeah, absolutely. Can I put a few of those in with my other rainbow dwarf cichlid? Well, she's a female, probably. You'd probably be all right. You'd probably be okay. If it was a male, you might have problems. Glow light Daniel are a great fish. Like, My As far as keeping fish in large schools, I have two fish that I want to do. Like I always say, like, oh, 100 of these would be awesome. 100 of the okay, obviously 100 of anything would be awesome. But realistically, I've always wanted to do like a giant tank with like hundreds of lemon tetras. Just regular old lemon tetras. That's right. And I also want to do a giant tank with like hundreds of glow light Danios. I mean, they cool really well. They're super active. Can't go wrong with glow lights. The Tinwinia Danio, super awesome. Hikari Danio, super awesome. There's not a lot of dedicated Danio people out there. I very much enjoy Danios. I mean, they're basically a rainbow fish. Same behavior. They're probably a little nuttier. They're a little bit more hyperactive than rainbows, but still, just a fast swimming, super active fish. Zane says I got multis from LRB and they are awesome. Bucket list fish for sure. Yeah, if I could sell those locally, I would 100% keep them again. But I could not get rid of them. And where I'm at, cichlids just don't exist. People don't keep cichlids here. A 125 with 100 glow light Daniels and 100 pygmy cories. Yeah. What's wrong with a huge school of zebra Danios? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I have bamboo and vampire shrimp with my jumbo sips and feather fins. Shocked neither fish. Well, that doesn't surprise me about Cyprichromis. I mean, possibly some of the most peaceful cichlids in the world. Feather fins, though, I could see feather fins going after shrimp. But I mean, bamboo shrimp are so large. I think the only time they would even be compromised is when they're molting. Otherwise, I don't see them going after such a large shrimp. T-Shot, what's going on? Says I grabbed 13 glow light Danios from fish months ago, and they are awesome in my 55-gallon planted tank. They sold 2 batches of multis my last fish auction, but they were snatched up, same as the shrimp. Ginger says my glow Danios didn't last very long. Glow Danios or glow light Danios? Glow Danios are completely different. Those are, although you love glowfish, so you know you probably have like the actual glow fish Danios. Even Pro Glow, I've heard the stuff about their metabolism, so I just never got any more. Oh, I guess maybe I should just finish the rest of your comment. But I like to give the regular variety a try. Shamu Aquarium says, I was always told that rose lines are sensitive. I've never heard that in my life. Although I only had issues with them when I was getting them dirt cheap from a new fish store and they kept dying. Switched fish stores, all good. Yeah, rose lines are really hardy fish. Leslie says, the best active schools. I had 35 tiger barbs in a 55-gallon. They were awesome at feeding time. So much fun to watch. Killer fish. I mean, I can't get into tiger barbs. I don't know what it is. I've just never been interested in tiger barbs. I don't know, how many did Corey have in his 800-gallon tank? And I was just like, eh. And I'm a guy that loves large schools of fish, obviously. But even when he had like 1 billion tiger barbs in that 800-gallon, I was like, that's neat, but yeah, whatever. You think my koi angel would pick off zebra Danios? No. No. Danios are way too quick. Way too quick. I mean, unless they're like super tiny. If they're super tiny, then probably. But if they're like, you know, of full size, then no. Definitely not. I got some longfin. Regina Flange says, I got some longfin rosy barbs from Dan. They are so fun. Now that's a fish I do love. The longfin rosy barbs. And I actually went to Petco to try to find some. They didn't have any. But Dennis says, keep your mulm until you see a bunch of gunk at the surface? Huh? Must be talking to someone else. I would like to see a large school of Exodon tetras. I mean, that'd be neat. Yeah, Paul says healthy Danios will swim circles around angelfish. Yeah, an angelfish, yeah, it would have to be a pretty, either like really small or pretty derpy fish for an angelfish to catch a Danio. They're they're pretty fast fish. What's the all-time tightest schooling fish you can keep? I can tell you the all-time tightest schooling fish that I keep used to be the bloodfin tetras. That used to be the tightest that I ever kept. But now it's my Coste tetras. Which are... these guys here. I have about 43 of these, is the size of my school. And they are not only the tightest schooling, but the constant schooling. Like a lot of tetras or fish will school like after a water change, after you rearrange the tanks. Usually there's something that triggers them to school. Safety mechanism, defense mechanism, whatever. These fish just school all the time, and when they're not schooling, they're shoaling. They're in such a tight group, even when they're just floating around not doing anything. They are just super fun. I'm glad I took a chance on them. I'd never seen them before. I'd never seen them for sale before, so I got 50 of them, and it's been one of the best buys I've ever had in this hobby so far. And they're in this room, so I can look. I can just sit here and stare at them like they're schooling right now. Bob, I believe Danny the longfin rosies from Czech. Petco definitely doesn't have that. Oh no. I'm not by any means saying that the ones at Petco are the same. Like Dan has them in his warehouse right now. Like I was there last week. I saw all of his rosy barbs, and they're all amazing. They're nothing like a Petco fish. But if I could pick up some longfin rosy barbs on their $1 per gallon sale, then I'm gonna. I mean, I just needed something for the tubs outside to keep the mosquito larvae down. That's all. Kenny says, I've always loved the look of rummy nose, but I've never had good luck with them. Me neither. Me neither. Dan says if you've had bad luck with rummy nose, try his. He says his are pretty solid. I've never. Do you have a video of them on your channel? They're in multiple videos. They're in the Aquarium Co-op light review video. There's a short reel on Instagram that I could probably just pull up and show you. Let's see. How do I do this? Here. It's not a very good quality video. But this is them when they were in their quarantine tank, just schooling around a leaf. And of course, stand down there dancing. And then this is them in their tank that they're in now. Oh, the glare. There you go. And this is what they do all day long, just back and forth, back and forth. So how big do super red bristlenose get? About 5-6 inches. Probably about 5 inches. You might get some males that get closer to 6. But yeah. The color form doesn't really matter when it comes to bristlenose. They all get the same size. At least from the ones I've kept. So I've kept calico, red, green, longfin super reds, and obviously the albinos and chocolates. And for the most part, they're all in that 5-inch range. Even though they aren't that colorful, their behavior is insane. I need some now. Yeah, and they're not expensive either. Like they're a very inexpensive tetra. I will say though, it is definitely one that you need a lot of, and this is the case with most schooling fish, right? If there was only 12 in this tank, they would not school that well. And I know this because people have told me, like, hey, I got 10 of them, and they don't school like yours. And I'm like, well, you need more. Like, this is not a sales pitch. I'm not trying to sell you anything. You just need a large group of schooling fish if you want that behavior. I've been trying to find brilliant rasboras with no luck. Everyone seems to be out of them. I've gotten rummy nose from the wet spot with no issues. See, my rummy nose came from the wet spot twice. I tried, and both were a disaster. Brilliant rasboras. Let me see. Let me see if they're on my list here. All right, rasboras. Where are the rasboras? Let's see. Swordtails, tetras, gourami, barbs, rasboras. Okay. Brilliant rasboras. There they are. They're on my list, so somebody should be able to get them. Brilliant, cherry, emerald, dwarf, exclamation point, galaxy, blue neon, green neon, harlequin, red slender, rummy nose rasbora, scissor tail, all kinds of rasboras. I want to get silver tip tetras, but I heard they are fin nippers. If you don't have enough in your school, they will definitely be fin nippers. But if you have a decent amount of them, they won't fin nip. I breed them, so I have a lot, and the tanks have plants. Sometimes they do come up, but not often. Her29 says, my blackline Coste Tetra just shoal, and you have 18 of them. What size tank are they in? I don't know. That first tank I showed you was a 10-gallon tank, so I mean, obviously, I don't think the size really matter. That is bizarre, though. My group picks something in the tank, and they just swim around it in circles. It's the coolest thing ever. So like in that first video I showed you, they were just schooling around a leaf. My sponge filter in this tank used to be towards the middle, and they would just swim around in circles around the sponge tank. Now it's off to the corners so that my aspidors will spawn in the uplift tube. They wouldn't do it when it was in the center. Now there's like a giant piece of octopus plant, and sometimes they'll be schooling around just that giant stem. They're in with Congo tetras. Oh, see, I don't know how they would do with a bigger tetra like Congo. That's probably why they're just shoaling. Do you ever get bored with fish because of the constant live stream of so much fish talk? No, but I am probably going to be reducing the amount of streams I do to maybe every other week. I haven't decided yet. Nothing's set in stone. But for the summer, I might do like every other week. But it has nothing. It doesn't make me bored of fish. Like, this is, in my opinion, this is like anti-fish time. I know, like, we're talking fish the whole time, but it's not the same as like being in the fish room and having my hands in the tanks. Put an Amazon sword in the middle of the tank. If I had the substrate for it, I probably would. But I just have a very thin layer of sand. Black skirt tetras were straight up terrorists going after my pearl gouramis and bozemanys and rainbow fins. I do have red tail sharks too, but they have more of a get out of my house type aggression. So I would ask again, like, how many black skirts? Because there's like serpe tetras, that type of tetra, they'll definitely fin nip if you don't have a lot of them. Whew. And on that note, we are done. We have hit the 1.5 hour mark. Steenfott Aquatics Bob, I think keeping rummy nose and warm water 82 plus keeps them happy. I just honestly, I don't even try anymore. Like, I gave up on that fish a long time ago. If I did them again, I'd probably get them from like Dan, just because I know they're going to be good. But I'm over it. I've been burned on rummy nose too many times. Same with cardinal tetras. Like I'll probably never buy cardinal tetras again. As much as I love them, probably not gonna do it. I think if you get 50 or more of any fish, it'll give you awesome behavior. Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. Read your last message. I have a feeling if the puffer, she would go on murder rampage, and I wouldn't even be mad if it's her tank. Oh, it's her tank. It is her tank. I don't think they would go. I don't think they would do it. It's not something I would be worried about anyways. But anyways, that's going to do it for this week's live stream. I hope you all had a great time. I did. And as always, I hope you enjoyed the rest of the week. And what news? Do I have any send-off news? I don't think so. Just get ready for just get ready for a lot of videos from Dan's Fish, because I filmed a lot. So I'm going to have a lot of that kind of content. Got a fish room update coming out as well. And yeah, so keep an eye out for that. And I hope you all have a great week. And I'll see you on the next one, I guess. I don't know. Uh-oh. I lost it. There we go. There's what I was looking for.